What are the 3 biggest mistakes I see my car crash victim clients make? Watch this video to find out. Number 1, you're seriously injured, but wait to call an attorney. Now I know what you're thinking. Of course I would say to call a lawyer, but really, the best practice is to call a lawyer no matter what if you're the victim of a car accident. Most car accident attorneys, including our firm, never charge you a fee unless you get a recovery. So that means there are dozens of attorneys just waiting to give you free advice. Why wouldn't you take advantage of that? Now, I'm going to surprise you a bit and say that while I think everyone who's a victim of a car accident should call an attorney, I at least get why some people might wait. For example, if you're not injured at all, or your injuries seem to be very minor, I get it even if I don't recommend it. But if you're seriously injured, it's critical to call an attorney as soon as you're able. If you aren't able, then your loved one should step in and call one on your behalf. Why? Well, for starters, there's critical evidence that has to be obtained immediately that attorneys are well equipped to get for you. I'm talking about traffic light footage, witness statements, accident photos. This evidence can make or break a case. It can be the difference between a $50,000 settlement and a multi-million-dollar verdict. And you need to strike while the iron's hot. If a witness statement isn't taken immediately, people disappear. Traffic light footage is often only held for a limited period of time before it's destroyed. You get the point. Now, most car accident attorneys have the ability to immediately hire a private investigator to get this evidence. Now, frankly, insurance companies also won't take you seriously if you don't have an attorney. With the attorney comes a threat of a lawsuit. When you hire a credible car accident attorney with trial experience, the insurance company knows that if they give you a lowball offer, they will be taken to court. That's why people who hire attorneys, on average, get over 3 times more money than those who do not. Another reason why it's important to hire an attorney if you're seriously injured is they can work with you to get you the treatment you need, both to get better and to document your case. Most car accident attorneys have recommendations they can provide for you for chiropractors, surgeons, physical therapy, etc. Sometimes doctors will dismiss certain injuries. The biggest area we see this with is traumatic brain injuries. Again, you'll want to get an MRI right away if you're having any symptoms of a brain injury. It's the car accident attorney's job to help you do that. Finally, if you're seriously injured in a car accident, you may be unable to work and earn an income. This is obviously a serious problem. There are things you will want to do right away. First, in New York State, no fault will pay lost wages in many instances. You may also be able to file for Social Security disability, something that our firm specializes in. If you are injured at work and will be out of work for any period, you'll want to file a workers' compensation case right away. The list goes on. The right car accident attorney isn't just thinking about your car accident case, but will be taking steps to help you survive until the settlement or verdict is reached. Number 2, giving a recorded statement to the insurance company. Please, do not do this. There is nothing worse than when we get a client who is seriously injured but tank their own case by getting twisted up on the phone with an insurance adjuster. It has to be said over and over that any insurance company, even your own insurance company, is not your friend. State Farm, one of the larger insurance companies out there, reported earnings of $5.3 billion in 2024. That's with a B. They didn't make that money by paying car crash victims what they deserve. So the adjuster on the other line may sound empathetic or reasonable, but please know that he or she is A, trained to sound that way, and B, trained to ask you questions that will get you to damage your case. And even if you ace the interview, you have now gone on record about your case. Later on, if your case goes to court, the defense attorney will try to trip you up at your deposition by comparing your testimony to what you said before, exploiting minor inconsistencies to make you look bad. Don't give them that opportunity. Now, can you call your own insurance company to report the accident? Yes, in fact, you should do this, but do not give a recorded statement. If asked, you are allowed to simply say no, or better yet, call my lawyer. Number 3, not consistently following up with their treatment. The final mistake we see is being inconsistent with treatment. This can happen in a number of ways. The most typical thing we sometimes see is that people have serious injuries, but they put off seeking treatment. Some of our clients are fearful about seeking medical treatment, especially if they think they may be advised to get surgery. Others are so busy they think that they don't have the time. But here's the practical effect of not getting treatment for your injuries as soon as possible after the accident. Months later, when the pain is so intolerable that you can't take it anymore, you will finally seek treatment. However, by not consistently treating after your accident, you will now have handed the insurance company an argument that something else, other than the accident, may have caused or at least contributed to your injuries. Now, if you had been consistently treating since the accident, documenting your condition and progress with treatment, this argument would not be possible to make. Simply put, every day you delay getting treatment, you are gifting the insurance company money. Now, something we also see is that a client starts getting treatment, but then life gets in the way and they have a gap in their treatment. Maybe they miss a follow-up with their surgeon and forget to reschedule, causing months to go by. Or maybe they stop going to physical therapy or the chiropractor for a while. We strongly advise against this. As with delaying treatment, gaps in treatment will also hurt the value of your case, albeit for a slightly different reason. Insurance companies will use gaps in your treatment to suggest that your injuries really aren't that bad. After all, they will claim, if you were seriously injured, you would not have missed your appointment or gone a few months without getting chiropractic care, for instance. So here's what you can do to avoid this. Get treatment right away if you have any injury after a car accident. This means taking the trip to the emergency room or urgent care and then following up with a primary care doctor, chiropractor, or other provider. Once you do that, simply continue following up with your treatment providers religiously until they tell you that you no longer need to follow up with them. Now, it really stinks, but the truth is that two people with identical injuries can get drastically different settlement amounts simply because of how consistent they were in getting treatment. So these are the three things that I see on a day in, day out basis that clients do to harm the value of their personal injury case. I hope you found it valuable. Be sure to like and subscribe. And if you were the victim of a car crash in New York State, give us a call.